So, Arlene mentioned quite frequently, actually, that there were a number of things that you ended up not being very happy with as far as this game goes.
Coding was, I think, one of the big ones.
And so I was wondering if you wanted to talk about some of those kind of grievances that you have with the game.
Yeah, well, I did like alpha stage demos before, but Shrouded In Sanity was the first actual finished game that I did. And as I said, I self-learned the coding and everything. Now I'm actually at my third year of IT university, so now I actually learn it as well in school. But originally when I started out, I did things very sloppily. And there was no standard of how I coded and stuff like that, so that caused a lot of issues. Shrouded in Sanity wasn't that bad, but the way I pulled certain things off, like I can tell you, the way I implemented the script, what everyone says, is terrible. I'm just going to say that because I'm not going to get technical, but every single line of dialogue in this game is actually in the NPC where they stand. So it's written into them there, which is one of the worst way you can implement dialogue in any game whatsoever, because that means that if I want to change the dialogue of the butcher NPC, I have to go into that specific object and change everything there. That's a horrible way of implementing things like this.
And I think sorry, go on.
Yeah, and that makes things incredibly irritating to fix, because when someone says, "Oh, the butcher has a spelling error" or something like this, then I have to actually find the exact object, and then find in that the codes to modify. And that's what I mean, is that there's a lot of these inefficient ways of implementation in Shrouded In Sanity.
It makes it just time consuming.
Yes, it makes it inefficient to update things and change things, and that's why I was really hesitant to do certain changes in it, because I was like, oh no, I think about how much it will take. Like implementing the knights was, for example, it had so many issues because of how certain things were implemented. If I did that the same, if I did it the usurper way, because I'm not gonna blow my own horn, but usurper now is very efficiently coded. Code is like 10% the length of what it is in Shrouded In Sanity. There's half the objects for 5 times the functions, so it's much more efficient. And now, for example, I will be able to have language support for usurper, because for Shrouded In Sanity, it would be literally impossible without spending literally a month on every single language port of the game.
You basically have to recode the game.
The entire game to
Yeah,
but I think
sorry.
This game was kind of like I want to say like a test bed for both of us. It's like a learning experience for, we've both done, little bits before. Like I've done a bit of music for myself before, and it's just done like a few other concepts in games before. But both of us have never made it past, the initial idea kind of stage. So Shrouded In Sanity was like a way to kind of like learn your skills, try them out, and for Usurper, we'll both have improved massively thanks to Shrouded In Sanity and what we've learned from that.
Okay.
So sort of cutting your teeth.
Yeah, it was a way to get us get us started, basically.
I sometimes I really hate Shrouded In Sanity. Sometimes I'm really happy with it. I'm very happy with the actual reception of it. It's much better than I ever expected. But I still, every time I see something that I would, oh god, I want to redo the whole game, because I cringe when I look at some things and like, oh lord.
It's like going back to your old work, isn't it? It's like you've done something when you were like a teenager, and it's like you look back at it now and you think, oh my word, that is terrible. What was I thinking? It's that kind of moment.
But that's the thing, is that this happened too fast for Shrouded In Sanity, because not trying to blow my horn, but I improved a lot. I gotten a lot better at every aspect of it, and that's why I'm like, as much as I love Shrouded In Sanity as well, I can't wait to get Usurper out, because I will be much more proud of that. Because I know that finally he's starting to reach my actual standard that I try to aim for. You know, I'm trying to go above and beyond. I'm trying to make it every time better and better. So definitely everything I learned from it, and that's why I read every single comment, everything that is about Shrouded In Sanity, and listen to everyone that says anything about it, because I want to know,
that's really important to both of us. That's like feedback we receive, we have to act on. We feel obliged, and we love, going through comments and seeing what people think and what we could change, and stuff like that. And it's really important to us because it helps shape the game and helps make us better and helps make the game better. So that's really important.
I'm gonna be honest, when someone just buys and plays the game, I'm kind of sad.
Yeah,
because I would love to hear. I would love to hear about them, how they went through it and what their thoughts are. Even if they are negative, I'm still love to hear it.
Well, I feel like for me and Arlian at this point, we're very happy that as far as like our YouTube channel is concerned, that this ended up being the first game we played and talked about. It was originally going to be another game called Barony, but that was just, we were having so much problems with that game. And so we switched to this one, and honestly had a really fun time.
We had a blast, and more than that, it's also been like just a really good experience with communicating with you, and like you looked on our channel and proceeded to like give us feedback and also like point out some interesting details. Like, I did not know until watching your stream that if there's an enemy in the room, she holds the pistol up.
That's one thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's one thing that almost nobody noticed it.
Yeah,
almost nobody noticed it. But I was like, I need to put in a system where people will know if there's an enemy around. But I'm like, I can't make it too obvious, but I can't make it too subtle. Apparently, it was too subtle.
No, it's awesome because it's just like there's still an enemy in this room.
mean,
so I'm
that's
holding the pistol up.
Yeah, that's a detail that it's not that it. I don't know that it's too subtle. I don't think people look for visual cues like that anymore.
Yeah, maybe. But that's the thing.
Actually, I just killed both the enemies in this room, and she's still holding the pistol up, and there's no other enemy.
Are you sure there's no other enemy? I think it counts the balls as well. I think
it counts the one as well.
Sure. The fiery balls.
Yeah, there's nothing there either. It's just it was two cloaked guys. I killed them, and then.
That's weird. That's weird because I could tell you technically, it literally just looks. Every step it looks if there's an enemy in the room.
If there's a chance for an enemy in the room, maybe it'll...
No. If there's actually physically an enemy. It's weird.
Corpses?
There wasn't any corpses. There wasn't any corpses.
No, with the corpses, it's the red light that shows them, if you suck them out or not. Vacuumed, sorry.
All the bodies dry.
Vacuumed.
I had already drained those bodies dry of all their juices.
So I guess talk about music for a minute.
Or a bit. I mean, we have the composer.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely don't want to forget about the music, because especially in ambiance heavy games, I feel like music is super important.
Yeah.
And, go ahead.
I know. You carry on.
Your music was also like good enough that I never wanted to gouge my ears out. I'm looking at you certain games on Xbox.
Yeah. So like, I guess what, like, the first question to the music is, what was the inspiration? What was the theming you were going for?
So, like I was saying earlier, Steve and I talk basically every day, and we discuss ideas. And being the music guy that I am, he would also basically the way it works is that he would send me information about, I don't know, for example, a boss that he would want music for, and I'd be like, okay, so give me some info, give me, what they're like, what their attacks are like, what their setting is, and like what their room is that they're in, stuff like that. Whether you want it fast paced, slow paced, or anything that he can help give me, any clues that he can help give me, that'd be great. So he does that. He might give me a bit of musical inspiration, because I think, like he alluded to earlier, I'm not a big game player, particularly with the kind of games that he's been designing and making. So he'll often link to me, OSTs that I'll give a listen through, and he'll say like, I want this, something sort of like this. I don't know if there's any examples you can think of specifically, Steve.
The thing is, I give him so many, so that it's not it's not becoming I want that song from that game, just no copyright. I give him as much as possible that is covering the same themes, and because as you guys noticed, the bosses each have a theme.
Yeah.
And I give him the full backstory. I give him the rooms they're gonna be in. I give him their looks, and when it's possible, I give him the full boss fight, so that he can actually play it and design around that. Because Saragat came out the best, because that was, I think, one of the last boss musics that.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because by that, this was a working experience as well, and by that time, I was really specific that it has to match the speed of the fight, like the whole escalation of it. That's the way I phrased it, I think, because Saragat is a boss that just gets faster and faster and strong. Well, basically more and more dangerous. It really like goes off, and that's why that's the way I think that's the way I put it in. Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
That's the thing, is that he gets the game as much as possible. Everything about it, and he gets all the story details as well, so he thinks on that, and then he gets like the kind of music experience that other games did for similar things, but I give him as much as possible, because I really don't ever want him to like, oh, I want this song but a bit different, so it's not
yeah, I mean, we don't try and, or I certainly don't try and copy any particular OST, for example, soundtrack. There's not. I mean, I can use it as inspiration, sure, but I'm not going to say that. It's where it say, look, can you make this song basically, but just change it a bit. It will say like, this is the kind of theme that I want. Do you think you can do something similar-ish? Put your own spin on it. And I'll be like, yeah, okay. So I'll load up, the game, the developer build that he's got, and I'll sit in front of my keyboard and I'll be like, okay, so that's kind of the stages of the boss fight, and it needs to be faster for that bit or slow for that bit. And I'll start with piano and I'll work my way from there. It's quite hard to explain, the ins and outs of how I get to a certain piece.
Right. It's
but it's definitely it's
kind of an
definitely the feel.
Process.
The feel and atmosphere is something that is very key to particularly this game and Usurper as well.
Oh, with Usurper, we can talk about that as well. That in Usurper, it has background music because it's a Metroidvania. You're gonna be wandering around. You're gonna be backtracking, and later on, I want to mention some things about backtracking, because Usurper will have some cute surprises about that, how I dealt with that. But with Usurper, I give him the rooms to run around, to roam around the rooms that the background music will be for, as much as possible. I tell him the background story of the place, what's it's used for, what's the theme, why it's actually there, what's the functions of all the things and stuff like that. And that's how he tries to make the music for the rooms,
Yeah.
Because that one will have background music, so
There certainly will be a hell of a lot more music in Usurper than Shrouded In Sanity. So I've got my work cut out, but it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
So you mentioned a keyboard. So I was curious if I noticed most of the music, all of it actually is very very piano centric.
Yeah.
Is that because you're a piano player?
Yeah, I started learning piano at primary school, so that's from what age? Like, well, it's the end of primary school, so I guess around age 12, I think. So I did piano music lessons, and it got to a point where I was in kind of secondary school, and I was thinking, okay, it's all very well learning by rote, but I kind of want to go my own way and do something creative for a change, rather than just learning classical piece after classical piece,
Right.
etc. So I decided it was fortunate that I was introduced to Steve, and he was saying, well, I kind of want some music for a game I'm coming up with.
Kinda, maybe. Desperately, really, please. No, but seriously, Jem is great. He's really fast. He's unbelievably fast. I don't wanna make it sound weird, but he's really fast. If he gets creative, he gets it done really fast.
If I'm in the mood, I would try and get it out quickly, because I'll have an idea and I won't stop until it's done. I'm kind of one of the guys that just won't let up until I finish something, which does have its disadvantages, but
So essentially, like you just get on a roll sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I'm very happy about the piano part, because I love piano, so I'm happy about it. Very glad.
In this
really
game.
well with this game. Like, I have my own specific favorite instruments. I have a raging hard-on for violins and cello.
Oh yeah, that's also sexy.
But I adored the hell out of like just the soundtrack for this game, especially because there's an almost. If I had to place it, it's sort of like a mocking playfulness to the way the soundtrack comes off.